Hello, hello. So I am here to just give kind of a general message. And I'm just gonna put out what the Lord gave me to say and just flow with it, okay? So whether you have noticed or not noticed, I made a community post earlier this morning talking about how the Lord had led me to come across a specific channel, and I shared the channel and the video in the community post with a message, like a caption that I wrote, okay? What is weird about this is that channel isn't even like they talk about God, but they're more of like a new age poster, right? My point is I don't follow them, right? I'm not subscribed to them. I don't follow them. We are in different categories according to YouTube's categorization, right? I'm in mine, they're in theirs. So there's no way our paths could cross, is what I'm trying to say. So if you did check it out, then this is explanation, and if you didn't check it out yet, then maybe you should, and then this is also explanation, okay? So for those of you that do listen to my words, you would have known that for the last few months now, I've been putting out words, scattered throughout 2024. And in particular, I put one out, I think it was in December, talking about so-called Christian content creators, right? AKA false prophets. I talk a lot on the channel about Jezebel spirit, false prophets, these kind of like lukewarm Christian content creators. I talk about this often, right? And I've also talked a few times, because the Lord's put it on me to say that, like, I know what you're doing and the Lord knows what you're doing, right? I've talked about, I'm very candid about it, right? So with my channel, I've already explained. So for those of you that have checked out every video, like I've said, you know that what I'm talking about is redundant. I'm just repeating something I've already said. But for those of you who haven't maybe checked it out, or you're new, or you just happen to come across this in the future, this pertains to today as well, right? But like I've mentioned in the past already, I have several entities that I'm battling when it comes to my channel, okay? So I'm extremely protected by the Lord, and the Lord has me put out the messages. Why? Not because I'm a glutton for punishment, right? And I just want to go and get spiritually beat up every time I put out a word, even though that's what happens. That's not why I do it. I do it out of obedience for the Lord, right? The Lord has prophetically gifted me amongst other gifts, and so the Lord requires me to speak on his behalf, no different than how the prophets did back in the biblical days, right? Those of you who may know will know that when the Lord calls on you, you don't really have any other choice, right? So whether what I say on here is copied, is hated, is loved, is popular, is unpopular, is warranted, unwarranted, justified, it doesn't matter. The point is that I just simply am obedient to the Lord, and even if I don't want to be, I will face the repercussions for disobedience, right? So I'd be cutting off my own arm if I don't, right? Not just that, I serve the Lord every single day, so therefore I want to do his will, right? And it's in his will to have me come on and put out the messages. These aren't messages that I create. These aren't messages that I drum up or that I spend time. 99% of the time when I press record on my phone, I flow. As you all can hear with the several interruptions that happen every time I try to give a message. Is that coincidence? No, it's not. It's the devil with his feathers ruffled, not appreciating the fact that I'm speaking, right? And this is why I get distractions, I get interruptions, all kinds of stuff, okay? But I still do it anyway. And I will continue to do it. And so this is the thing, is that I've made mention about this before. I will not be silenced, okay? As long as the Lord leads me to speak, I will speak. So if the Lord tells me to talk and make a video every day, I will. If he tells me to make a video once a month, I will. I will come with the frequency that he puts on me to do. For two reasons. One, I have to be obedient. If I'm not, I'm the one that gets in the hot seat with the Lord, and I'm not going to do that. And for two, I follow his will. I'm a good and faithful servant, so therefore whatever he asks of me, I do, right? And because of that, I stay blessed for it, right? And because of that, I have a lot of hate, all right? Why? Why? Because I stay blessed. The fact that I'm obedient, the fact that no matter what gets thrown my way, I just push past it and continue to serve the Lord. The devil's been trying to stop me ever since I started this channel. But see, he's right now he's trying to take my voice. See what I mean? I rebuke you, Satan. I rebuke you, Satan. Like, seriously, when I'm not sick or anything. As soon as I go to try and talk, if you listen to my words, you'd remember about a month or so ago, remember I lost my voice for a week? Yeah. Sorry, I'm just taking a drink. This is what I mean. He'll try to choke me up when I'm speaking, make me lose my voice, make me catch a cold so that, I feel run down, give me interruptions, distractions, whatever. And why would there be so much of this? And this is another reason I could edit my videos, but the Lord asked me not to. You know why? Is because it shows how upset the devil is at me just speaking. Because should a normal, average, everyday person go through this much just to make one video? And my videos are an hour long? So every few days I make an hour-long video, and this is what I have to go through just because I make a video. You know what I'm saying? When I'm not on camera recording for the Lord, this doesn't happen, right? Of course, I'm still spiritually attacked. I'm spiritually attacked 24/7. I talk about this too. And one of the reasons I'm spiritually attacked to the degree I am is because of the fact that I am prophetically gifted and I make these prophetic words, right? And so the fact that maybe some of you tune in and you think that I'm like crazy and making this up, yeah, that's the devil's work. If you think I'm arrogant or tooting my own horn, that's the devil's work. And this is why I say I put out the messages for chosen ones and chosen ones particulars, because chosen ones are the ones that the Lord has sent me to speak to on his behalf. And secondly, they're the only ones that understand what I'm trying to talk about. Because somebody that thinks any type of different, negative, anything slanted other than what I say is, so if I say, hey, it's black, and whoever comes across this thinks I'm saying it's white, or if I say, hey, it's hot, and they think what I'm saying is cold, you know what I'm saying? If whatever they're getting is a different gist off of other than what I'm simply genuinely putting out, then they are touched and tainted by the spirit of Satan, period. And he has sent them to feel crisscross about me so that they can see me wrong. That's all part of the plan. This is what I'm trying to get into, is that I have so many obstacles to deal with when it comes to this channel, okay? I have YouTube trying to shut me up and silence me, and it's not just on my channel. If I go and make comments, like, I'm completely censored. If I I could go on a cooking video, I could go on a makeup video, I could go on a video about horses, and if I go and make a comment and I say, I like horses, they're nice, or, I don't like cooking seafood, I don't like the way it smells when I cook it, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I say something just off the cuff or something positive or something negative. My comment is not shown, okay? It is not shown. It is not, and YouTube must think I don't know, but I can tell because it's not liked, it's not replied to, even with something, a positive reply or even a negative reply. There's just nothing. It's just dead air. And then sometimes I can even log into a different account and go and look, and the comment's it's not visible, you see? But they like to play around. Sometimes the comment is visible and will gain some sort of attention, but I'd say 90% of the time it's not. And so YouTube doesn't want me, just YouTube in itself doesn't want me to have any interactions, okay? They want a very low amount of people to come across my channel. They want me to come across a very low amount of people, right? So say the average YouTuber has 100 people come into contact with their material. I have maybe 10, right? However, with that said though, I have more views and interaction than what it's showing. If you or I look at my channel, you'll see that the video has like 7 views, but in actuality it has like 30 or 40 views. There's more people that watch it than what it's showing. It's still a limited number, right? It is, but it's more than 7, right? And I've had literal conversations with people. Someone will comment on a video, I'll reply, then they'll reply, I'll reply, and literally the next day the comments are gone. I've had people comment to me when I've happened to see it, because some I see and some I don't, and say, yeah, I had to stop commenting because I feel offended. I feel like you're deleting my comments. I've had that happen. And the thing is, why would I delete your comments, especially if they're positive and they're speaking about the Lord? You know what I mean? Like, if they're an encouraging comment and positive in regards to the word, why would, right? But this is the thing, is the Lord has pointed it out to me, is that the devil is trying to make me look. I'm literally sitting here saying, yeah, I'm speaking about letters, just say for instance, and the devil's telling everyone I'm speaking about numbers. I'm sitting here speaking English, and the devil's telling everyone I'm speaking Greek. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally where it's a crisscross, and this is how the Jezebel spirit works. This is what the Jezebel spirit does. But yet, because I am prophetically gifted, they want to extract the seeds, the heart, the juice, right, from the message itself, and take that, the nuggets of wisdom and information, and then go and make their own video about it, and go and take like a chunk, because I make like an hour-long video. They'll take like the heart of my message, the 20-minute heart of my message, and go and take that heart of it, that seed, and then go and plant it on their own platform, and spin it, twist it, tweak it, but it's literally the same message. There's times that the Lord will lead me to other content creators, like he led me to the one I posted about yesterday, but that's different. But he'll lead me to content creators that are in the same category as me, that speak on prophetic words, and he will show them to me, even if they're ones that he led me to in the past. He'll lead me to a prophetic voice, and then and I don't, like I said, I don't interact as much anymore. And even if I do interact with the channel host, just 1 second. Sorry about that. And so it begins. What are we? 12 minutes in, and there's already interruptions. Oh, yeah. So, like I said, this is what I mean, okay? If I was to be watching a movie, I wouldn't have a single bother for 30, 40, 50 minutes. But as soon as I start recording this message, and I tell the people in my household, I say, okay, I'm going to record my video. Don't bother me unless you really need to, whatever else. And then still every 10 minutes, right? And so, like I said, it's not the people in my household trying to sabotage me, you know, but what it is the devil will do whatever it takes to have me stop talking. I've even witnessed it on other prophetic voices where all of a sudden they're 5 minutes into their video and there's sirens in the background, right? All of a sudden kids are screaming, playing at the park. You know what I mean? That's what the devil does, is he'll do whatever he can to either distract the creator, the voice, or you as the listener, as the audience. Because he doesn't want, like I said, I could sit here and talk about how to apply eyeshadow and lipstick for 45 minutes and everything would just be perfect. But because I'm sitting and reading the scriptures, or I'm speaking on behalf of the Lord, or I'm calling the devil and his minions out, well, now we have to send an interruption every 10 minutes on the button. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm just explaining. So this is the thing, is that since November, I'd say give or take, well, this has been going on since I started my channel, for sure throughout 2024, but particularly since November, the Lord has had me posting less. I used to post more frequently, you know, in like last winter, last spring, as opposed to say this fall and winter and spring, okay, this stretch. And that's intentional. It's not for any other reason other than I'm obeying the Lord's leading, because he only wants me to post when the coast is clear. Strike when the iron's hot, he was saying, okay? He doesn't want me to just, this is the thing, this is why it matters that I don't use this channel to pay my bills. This is why, is because when there's a content creator, particularly a Christian one, that uses their channel to pay their bills, you will notice that they will post every single day without fail. it maybe skip a day or two, but it's consistent, right? And sometimes 3, 4 messages, 5 messages a day. Yeah, that's because they're trying to pay their bills. Every single time that they post a video, especially if they've monetized their channel and they have over 10,000 subs, every time that they make a video, it doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes or 40 minutes, if that ad revenue, if those ads are kicking in every 5 minutes, that's cha-ching, 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 okay? If they are selling merch on their channel, that's cha-ching. If they have a membership only where you have to pay 20, 30 bucks a month to deal with their content or whatever, which by the way, like really, I don't recall anybody in the Bible saying, okay, I have a prophetic message from the Lord, but I'm only going to deliver these perks to those who pay me for these these specialties. Nobody does that. When a true prophet in the Bible has a word from the Lord, the word is free, and the Lord sends that person to who they need to deliver the message to, okay? So there's nowhere in there where there's a selected audience, right? Imagine if Jesus was only healing the paralyzed man if he paid him, or only helping the woman with the issue of blood if she paid him, only helping Job out of his turmoil if he paid him. You know what I'm saying? This is what it is. But people are fleeced. They don't see it for what it is because the devil has them. It's not just the voice that it's this or that through. It's also the audience too. The Lord was showing me that they're in today's day and age, right? The majority of people lack spiritual eyes and spiritual ears. They're not in tune with God. They genuinely are not. So therefore they lack the spiritual vision and the spiritual hearing that is required in order to decipher and discern who is of God and who is not. Okay, so someone like me will come along who's of God, but you'll hear me talking, rubbish or in circles, right? And that's because the devil has made it so that I speak in a certain way to you, and the way you interpret me is in a certain way. So he makes me put things down in a way, but I'm speaking in a proper way, but they're going out in a certain fashion, and even regardless of that, you're picking them up in a certain fashion, okay? I hope that makes sense, but it probably doesn't, right? Whereas those that actually have ears to hear will understand what I'm trying to say, period. Like, they'll understand it word for word for word. And this is why the Lord has really had me tighten up for the last couple months and speak directly to chosen ones specifically, is because the majority of people that call themselves a Christian or a follower or a chosen one, they aren't. They're not. And one of the key ways to tell, like level 1, is if you have the spiritual ears to hear and the eyes to see, okay? Your eyes should be able to discern who's truly of God and who's not. Your ears should be able to discern. But if you lack that discernment, then you're going to continue to buy into the Jezebel spirit. And I'm going to tell you, I've always told you, I'd say 75% of the Christian content creators are Jezebel spirits, right? And this is the thing, is me even talking about this makes people offended. They don't like it. But I'm again going to repeat to you that if you come across my words such as this, and you're offended by it, then you have been bitten by the devil. You have a devilish spirit. Because what I am saying is not offensive at all whatsoever. And those that are truly chosen, picked by God, that truly genuinely are like myself, they're going to understand, they're going to pick up what I'm putting down, and they're going to pick it up properly, right? It'll be received properly, they're going to understand it properly, right? And so anyways, so I had made this word, like I said, I've made several of them talking about this exact topic. But I had made one just as recently as like a month and a half ago-ish. And last night, the Lord had the channel that I shared the word that she made on my community post. I don't want to name names, okay, but it's there. The Lord had me, like, this channel, who I've never followed, I have no interactions with. She shouldn't run into my circle, and I shouldn't run into hers, because we come from two different spiritual arenas, right? She posted that word, and even though she's like new age, the Lord still sent it to me because it was confirmation for me. The Lord's will prevail over anything. Doesn't matter what it is. The Lord can use a worldly song to speak to me, right? The Lord can use a worldly movie to speak to me, right? I don't box the Lord in. I don't say, well, Lord, this isn't religious, so therefore that must not be you. I know I'm connected enough to the Lord and prophetically advanced enough that I know when the Lord is speaking to me. And honestly, the devil doesn't really talk to me. I'm going to be honest. He doesn't, because I'm too protected for him to, and he knows there's no way for him to. I don't create little foxholes for the devil to squeak in. So therefore, I say, I hear from the devil very seldomly. He's tried, but it's not like it doesn't happen. I'm too protected from it. So when I hear something speaking to me, 99% of the time it's God, right? So therefore I can trust it. And if I'm ever in doubt or question, I can take it back to God and say, God, was this you? And because I have a very open dialogue with the Lord, he'll say yes or no, right? And 99% of the time he says yes. So I don't even, he kind of doesn't want me to test him like that, because I should know off the top of my head, and I do, right? So therefore I just take it for what it is. And so the Lord will speak to me through anything. And if you've been following my channel all this time, you would know he has. He's used several different avenues to speak to me. And so I don't cut it off or label him or label me this, that, and the third. I don't have a religious spirit, right? So therefore, I understand that the Lord can use things. Now, there's a fine line. Like when people are trying to say, oh yeah, the Lord spoke to me through this horror movie and whatever. Like, no, he didn't. He didn't. Because the Lord doesn't want anyone who's of him digesting anything through their spiritual eyes or spiritual ears, if you truly have them, that's of pure evil. Like that's and so the channel that I posted yesterday, the message is not pure evil, right? Even if it comes from a different avenue than the one I'm in, but I didn't go looking for that. And so there it is. It had no business being where it was, but yet it was. Why? Because it was the Lord sending it to me. And I even on that one, I did double check with the Lord before I went ahead, and he said yes. So I knew it was a complete green light. It was a green light to check it out. It was a green light to post, right? And so I did that, and I listened to the message, and I was like, wow, I was blown away, because she shouldn't know me from a hole in the ground, and vice versa. We've never entertained each other. And yet she's literally speaking word for word. And again, she's not considering herself a Christian content creator or a prophet, right? Word for word what the Lord had told me a month and a half ago. And I'm like, wow. And I knew that the Lord wasn't showing me that she was a copier. The Lord was showing me that she's like, I was divinely led to the message I put out, and she was divinely led to the message she put out. And the reason she put that message out in the first place, and the reason it came across my table, and the reason why the Lord brought it to my ears and eyes, was because it was to serve as confirmation for what the Lord has already told me, right? Which is exactly what happened. And so it was the Lord confirming to me that, yes, Amanda, like this is in fact going on, right? Even though I already knew that, but he will do that a lot of times. He will tell me something, and then down the road, he'll double tell me it, if that makes sense. Tell me twice, right? So I know that that's him trying to have it so that because when I say these things, I know that they make perfect sense. But the Lord has revealed to me that the devil's tried to make people think that what I say doesn't make sense. And so the Lord is showing me stuff like in that channel video yesterday that I posted. This is his way of saying, no, like you're right. Like you're on the right track. Anything different. You thought it was from the devil to make there be doubt. And you're right, there was, because I mean what I say, and I say what I mean. That's what the Lord was trying to say to me, right? So I asked the Lord if I should share that, and he said yes. And why? Is because warning comes before destruction. I'll say it twice. Because of yesterday, okay, or this morning when I posted it. When I made that first word, I said, so-called Christian, the title of it is so-called Christian creators, warning comes before destruction, right? And again, don't mind me if I stammer my words, or I forget what the word is, but what's the word, Lord? I can't think of it right now, but when my words get flubbed up, that's the devil trying to twist up my tongue and make me say things, misspeak or whatever on purpose. Again, that's more confirmation, okay? So anyway, so when when I got this message, I had posted it again this morning. And I encourage you, if you haven't already and you come across this today or in the future, check out the word, because it might be, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to channel name drop on my channel, but you'll see it in my community post. And she is speaking about false prophets and things like that. It says it kind of on the thumbnail of her video, okay? And so you'll find it, even if it's down the road, and it gets buried. So yeah, it served no other purpose other than confirmation from what I had said before. So it confirmed it to me, and the Lord wanted me to go ahead and confirm it to you all, my audience that tunes into my words or comes across this down the road, okay? Because I'm not the only one. It is a minority. It is a minority out here that actually hears from the Lord and is truly prophetically gifted. It is. The platform likes to make it look like this happens to everybody, and it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, if you've read the Bible, if you're a good Christian, you have, and you'll see that there's only selected people that were prophets in the Bible. Even Jesus's disciples that walked with Jesus weren't prophets. You know what I mean? Some of them may have been prophetically gifted, but they weren't, no, they weren't like Ezekiel and Zechariah and Elijah, So no, it's not a common thing. That's why it's a gift, right? If everybody had it or the ability, how could it be considered a gift? It would be just considered a trait or a normal part of life, right? So anyway, so that's all I wanted to say in this video. Is I just wanted to say that. And then just going back, I have YouTube trying to like shadow ban me and blacklist me to where I don't get seen at all, because you have to understand, when I make comments on other videos, other content about horses and animals and the beach, that puts my name out there. My channel handle is out there, and because my channel handle is God's chosen follower, it's obvious that I'm a God channel, right? So someone can easily, even if I make a comment on a political news channel, right, they can click on my name, and then there you go. There's all my prophetic words. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, there's some confirmation or some revelation on my channel for them. Or maybe I will arouse them to go and seek and pursue the Lord. And then just maybe they'll have a relationship with the Lord instead of the devil. Oh, eeks. Ooh, that's an issue. You know what I mean? So therefore, we have to make it so that you can't see me at all. So that there's no, my comments aren't visible. If you and I have a back and forth dialogue, that gets deleted so that you can't continue to stay in contact with me. Or perhaps maybe you'll think that I deleted everything. Even why would I do that? But the devil likes to play tricks on the mind, makes you think that I did that. Then you're offended by me and you unsubscribe. You know what I'm saying? This is it's all a part of the formula. The fact that I talk about this and your ears absorb it and you think that what I'm talking about doesn't make sense, or it's crazy, or why this or why that or why this, or you judge it, yeah, that's all part of the plan too. The fact that you click off 5 minutes in, or you don't finish the word or whatever, that's all part of the plan too. So this is the thing, is that I have one entity in the form of content creators that come across my material, and they copy it, they steal it, they copy it, and then they either take it verbatim over to their platform, or they tweak it and twist it and make it sound like it's theirs. But you can't hide. You can't hide. The Lord knows, and the Lord leads me to you. So I know who you are too. And in that cases, when that happens, I unsubscribe from that person if I am subscribed to them. And I just think to myself, I'm like, oh, the devil got to you too, right? And this is what's happening, is that from the beginning of when I started this channel over 2 years ago, a lot of the people that were on YouTube were not genuine. They weren't genuinely prophetically gifted. They were false prophets, and they were Jezebel spirits. Today, as I make this message today, there's just as many today, if not more, to be honest, because it's grown in popularity over the last few years. But they've gotten more sneaky about it, right? That's the thing, is like the devil doesn't really stop. He just tries to come up with a more sneaky way of doing things. But because, like I say all the time on this channel, he only has a limited arsenal of things he can use. as long as you have spiritual eyes and spiritual ears, you will start to crack the code on the things that he uses and does, right? It's not complex. He tries to make it seem like it is, but it's not. It's actually really simple, because like I say before, he's dumb, and so therefore he can't go toe to toe with those who are genuinely chosen and genuinely gifted, because the Lord gives them supernatural knowledge, supernatural understanding, supernatural vision, supernatural hearing, supernatural discernment, right? So you can't be fooled or deceived, and the devil knows that. That's why he doesn't try to play with me. So instead, what he'll try to do is play with others. So he'll make it so that the YouTube creators that he does play with try to hide me in the shadows in the background, right? So that they don't interact with me, therefore they don't interact with God, right? Can't have that. Then he'll have other people come and watch my content and rip it and steal it and copy it and go and use it for their own pocket lining, which is what I call it, because they basically take it to their channel, put it out, everyone goes ooh ah, and then they turn around and give them donations and membership. They become members to their channel, they buy their merchandise, you know what I mean, and then their pockets are just lining and lining and lining. I can do this too. There's several things that I can do to go and be a pocket liner, but that goes against the Lord. The Lord, like, I will never do that. I will leave YouTube altogether before I will do that. I will never sell out. I know the devil wants me to, but I'm never going to do that. And he knows that. So that's why he tries to come up with these, like, okay, Amanda, if you won't play with me, I'll make others play with you. That's how the devil works, right? Because he can't get me. So instead, he goes to those he can and tries to use them to sabotage me. But he forgets that the same spiritual sight and ears that protect me from him is the same spiritual sight and ears that knows what he's doing, so I can discern who is operating through his spirit or not. So therefore I can easily just block them or unsubscribe from them or whatever, right? But unfortunately, YouTube has it set up that when you block someone, they can still access your content. This is the other thing too. Maybe some of y'all know this or you don't, but when you, as a content creator, if say someone writes a comment and I don't like the comment and I block them, all I've essentially done is I've blocked them from commenting, but they can still check out my content. So you can't actually on YouTube get away from, and honestly, I know there's other platforms to post on, but they're probably much the same. And that person can just go create another profile, another channel, and still come across it. You know what I mean? Because you've only blocked that channel, that handle, not a new one. So there's really no way on this platform or others to deter or block or stop Jezebels or wicked people from hearing or viewing my content, right? So this is the thing, is that this is why there's no point in really getting all going on a blocking mission and stuff, because these people can still, even whether they're blocked or not, they're just blocked from commenting. They can still access the channel and my videos. So like I said, I am dealing with YouTube as an entity trying to come at me because they're being powered and used by the devil to shadow ban me and blacklist me so that people don't come into contact with my content, because if they come into contact with my content, then they very well may find the Lord. Then I have on a separate category, I have so-called content creators, Jezebel spirits, false prophets that come along and steal and take my content. And why they're Jezebel false prophets is because a true prophet doesn't need to steal someone else's content. I don't need to go and copy someone else's content or steal it. I can easily receive my own, and chances are my content will be more directly sent from the Lord than theirs will be anyway. So therefore I would prefer to only deal with my own, right? I'm an original person. If you met me, you'd know I'm an original person, and therefore I only put out original content, period. But other people are operating through the devil, and so they can't come up with their own content because they don't hear from the Lord, right? And they're not prophetically gifted, and they're not chosen. So therefore they don't have any choice. When they have a chosen channel and they're not chosen, they have to go check out chosen people's words so that they can take that information and go and revamp it, to go and recycle it to put on their own platform so that they can appear chosen. And you'll know these people because the majority of them have big platforms, because the devil is blessing them with subscribers and money in order to make the machine run, okay, smoothly. Because the way that the human psyche works is that if you see a content creator with 100,000, 50,000, 200,000 subs, you're going to believe they're genuine. But if you see a content creator with 90, 100, 500 subs, you're going to think they're not genuine, right? And so what the devil does is he goes ahead and kind of blows up everybody else that is either working for him deliberately or is lukewarm, so that it can appear that those who are genuine like myself perhaps aren't. Again, it's more sabotage, okay? More confusion. And so, and again, I know this because I have spiritual eyes to see and ears to hear, so I know this is what's happening. I can discern it, and not just that, the Lord has revealed this to me and confirmed this to me, so I know that this is in fact what it is, right? So yeah, so I have that. Then I also have, thank you, Lord. He's saying, no, it's mostly just YouTube trying to shadow ban me so that my channel can't be advertised or be mainstreamed, and then it's also the false ones that come and try and steal from it. Oh, thank you, Lord. And then I also have enemies and Jezebel wicked spirits that aren't trying to be content creators, but they're against me personally, and so they'll just do witchcraft against my channel. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. That was the third one, was they'll do witchcraft and things against my channel. You know what I'm saying? To try to silence me, stop me, have people not interact with me, people not like it, this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? It's all, so 90% of the air around my channel is wicked, evil, and delusion. And it's all generated and powered by the devil, okay? So then now you'd say, well, then why do you continue? I continue because, like I said in the beginning part of this message, I'm a good and faithful servant of the Lord, and so therefore me and the Lord work together to go around these obstacles. So I'm not going to, if I know the heat is on, I'm not going to pour gas on a flame. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to make it worse, right? I'm not going to inflame an already hot situation. So therefore what the Lord has me do is lean back when the time, like when the heat is on, I lean back. That's why you don't hear or see from me for a few days or a few weeks. That's the Lord, saying the coast isn't clear right now. You got YouTube on you, you got these Jezebels on you, you got this witchcraft on you, and so the Lord will pull me back. And then when then the Lord goes and fights the battle for me, and he goes and cleans it all out. The Lord is showing me a vision right now of his angels with swords, spiritual swords, but going and just slashing through all of this evil, right? And so the Lord will dispatch the angels that protect me, and they'll go and slash through and destroy all this evil energy, this evil air that's surrounding the channel. And then the coast will be clear, and then the Lord has me come and post. And then repeat. So this is why I can't tell you how frequently I'll be on. I could be on every day. I could be on once a week. I could be once a month. I could be once every 6 months. I will just go when the Lord leads me. When the Lord says the time is not good, I will disappear. When the Lord says the time is right, I will reappear. Okay? So I will come when the coast is clear, because this has been going on since the last 2 years I've been making this videos on this channel. But in particular, it's gotten really heavy in these last 2 months since the fall season, because I really ruffled up the false prophets' feathers when I called them out and spoke about them trying to rip my content. I really ruffled YouTube's feathers when I called them out and said that they're trying to blacklist and shadow ban me. I really ruffled the witches and enemies' feathers that are coming against me when I started to pull back on my content and also said, I know what you're doing. And so the more that the Lord revealed to me, the more I spoke on it, because the Lord led me to, and the more that I understood things and spoke on such things, the more feathers that got ruffled, right? So all the more backlash that I received. So the heat went from a 5 to an 8 to where now it's like a 10. And so this is the thing, is I'm not going to stop. I will not be silenced. I will not be stopped. I will continue to come when the Lord leads me to. So whenever the Lord nudges me and has a pertinent, important message for the chosen ones that they need to hear through me, or just for the world in general, I will come and put it out, period. Whether nobody checks it out, whether one person checks it out, whether 1,000 check it out, I don't care. I'm going to come when the Lord leads me to, and I'm going to say what the Lord leads me to. And if it offends people, awesome. Then that means that the Lord's work is being done. If it makes you upset or perturbs you or annoys you or ruffles your feathers or makes you think that I'm this, that, and the third, then perfect. That is the Lord using me to highlight your ways that you're holding hands with the devil. Okay? That's what's happening there, is that I don't take that personal at all. That is a more you problem than a me problem. Okay? That is showing you where. So if you're sitting there thinking, I'm really close with the Lord, I'm really close with the Lord, and you come and the Lord leads you, he'll test you with one of my videos, okay? So if you're a Jezebel spirit or you're a false prophet or you're a witch or something like this, and the Lord will test you, he'll send you towards my channel. Either I will appear in your feed like that content creator did for me this morning, or he'll send you to search for me. You know, something will happen where I will come across your table like that word did. And the Lord will test your spiritual prowess, your eyes and your spiritual eyes and ears, and see, oh, are you really? Because if you are, then you'll pass this test. When I have my child and their video on their channel come across your desk, you'll understand it accordingly, and you won't be offended or bothered. And so if you check out my word and you listen to it for 5 minutes and you think this about me and that about me and you're offended and you're bothered and you know, blah, 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 okay, then you failed the test. And the Lord is showing you where you still have work to do. Period. That's all that it is. And if you want, you can take what I'm saying right now, this moment, back to the Lord and ask him about it, and he will reveal and confirm it to you the same as what I'm saying. Because this is the thing, is that I have a very specific mission, and not everybody is in my category. And the devil knows who's gifted and who's not. And so why would the devil send one of his ungifted children to another ungifted child? That's the blind leading the blind. So instead, the devil will send his ungifted child towards me, knowing I am gifted, so that his ungifted child can take the message from this gifted child and go and put it out so that they themselves look gifted, right? That's what happens. And it serves two purposes, a dual purpose. It makes his ungifted child look gifted, and it makes the Lord's gifted child look ungifted. You understand? And so I know exactly what's going on. It's been going on for a long time. I just pray to the Lord about it and I deal with it. And it doesn't matter to me, because off camera I am blessed accordingly. Because the Lord knows what I do have to put up with, and that I still put his will and his plan first, regardless of any sabotage that I may have to encounter, right? And because of that, I have a very thick, tough skin. And because I have a very thick, tough skin, these little tactics by the devil don't bother me, okay? They're annoying, they're frustrating, which you can probably hear my voice, but I mean, and that's me being honest, but they don't bother me. You know what I'm saying? When this video is done, I will turn off the camera and I will carry on living my blessed, beautiful life. Right? And when the Lord gives me a message and the coast is clear, he'll send me out to put it out, and I will do so accordingly. And I don't care who likes it, doesn't like it, hears it, doesn't hear it, right? But it's not going to stop me from coming across and putting the truth out. And this is why the devil has it out for me so bad, is because I'm one of the few ones, because of my gifting from the Lord, that speaks the cold hard truth. If you're a true follower of God, you don't lie, right? Lying is a sin. And also, you know, if the Lord gives you, you know, messages to speak, you're going to speak them verbatim, because they're not your words. They're the Lord's words. And so this is the thing. I'm not angry, but we hear about the Bible about righteous anger. This is a righteous annoyance. I have every right to be annoyed. And the Lord knows that. And so he's just sending me to clear the air and say this. Now, I'll tell you right now, this video is not going to be aired or seen. For those that do come across it, it's going to look like hardly anyone's seen it, but more people are going to see it than it appears. Don't trust the numbers. Whatever the numbers say, don't trust them. There's videos out there that have 1,000 views, and they don't. They have like 300. There's videos out there that it says have 300 views, and they don't. They have 1,000. There's people out there that it says they have 200,000 subs, and they don't. They have like 100,000 subs. And there's people out there that have 500 subs that don't. They have 1,000 subs. Okay, because you can go and subscribe, you can like, you can comment, do all this stuff, but YouTube controls how many likes that video shows. You could have 1,000 likes, but if YouTube feels that they only want your video to look like it has 300 likes, it'll have 300 likes. Even though 1,000 people actually liked it, they watched it, they liked it, they heard it, they enjoyed it, there could be 100 comments, but if YouTube wants your channel to appear like you only have 50 comments, they'll go ahead and make it look like your comments posted, but you'll know that it's not, because it won't gain any attention. It won't be liked, it won't be replied to, nothing, which proves the fact that it's not being seen. It's showing you it's there to appease you, but it's actually not there, right? Or even if it is there, YouTube has made it so that people can't see it. This is the thing I'm trying to make people understand, is that YouTube plays with everything that a content creator does. And you would say, well, try a different platform then. No, but they all do that. They all do that. All the platforms, whether I was on Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, they all work the same way. And it's because the devil governs that. Why? Because all these platforms are worldly. And because they're worldly, the devil gets free range. Because this is the thing, the devil, the Bible talks about this, that the world is delivered to the wicked one. So the devil's the wicked one, and he has the world in his hands, right? God trumps over the devil, of course, but the devil can play with worldly things. He has authorization to do so. And when he's not authorized, he can take it back to the Lord, like he did with Job, and ask for authorization. And sometimes the Lord will let it happen, right? And so you'd say, well, why would the Lord let this happen with you, Amanda? Well, the Lord's letting this happen with me so that he can continue to test me and grow me. I'm human too. Even though I'm chosen and I'm prophetically gifted, I'm still human, right? And so he's still he's testing your ears when you come across my message. But he's testing me as well to see if I'm going to be obedient or not. He's testing me to see if I'm going to give in to the devil's tactics or not, and just give up altogether. But the Lord knows now, 2 years later, I haven't done that, and I'm not going to do that. And so that's why I say this stupidity, for lack of a better word, continues. This ridiculousness continues, but at the same time, I still stay blessed. And this is another thing that has my personal haters, and which is assigned to me, up in arms, is because they just don't understand. They're like, okay, we're doing all this witchcraft. You have YouTube blacklisting you. You have the chosen ones looking at you side-eyed. You have the Jezebel spirit stealing from you, stealing your content. How are you still posting? And it's like, because the Lord strengthens me, right? The Lord powers me. He strengthens me. How do you not understand this? I've only been saying this on a regular basis since I started the channel. It's not a surprise. This is what it is. The Lord strengthens me and empowers me to be able to continue. And I've said since day one, my channel is completely devoted to the Lord. All the messages I put out here, even in my community posts, all derive from the Lord. The thumbnail pics, all derive from the Lord. The information blurb, all derive from the Lord. The comments I reply to and say or whatnot, all derive from the Lord. I don't take a step. I don't breathe a breath. I don't blink my eyes without the Lord's input, without his direction. And that's how it's supposed to be when you're a true chosen one, right? This is the thing, is that I'm not only chosen when I'm on camera. I'm not only prophetically gifted when my bills are due. I'm not only prophetically gifted when I need a new car. Like, that's, you know what I mean? And like I said, I've made words about this before, so this can sound redundant, but it's because the Lord is continuing to put it on, because he's going to expose this. This is a preface to what's going to happen. That's what prophecy is. Prophecy is something said in advance. So I've already said this once. The Lord's leading me to say it again. And another thing too is, by the fact that I am annoyed by it, that means the Lord is annoyed by it. So that means that it's coming closer. This exposure that's inevitably coming, this destruction that's inevitably coming, it's drawing closer, because the Lord has taken me through him from talking about it in a certain way to talking about it like this, right? And so this is the thing, is I know the Lord well enough to know that this is when he expresses himself. Look at how Jesus was when he tossed the tables at the market through righteous anger, when they were doing buying and selling and trading in the temple, right? Treating the temple like a market. Like, this is the thing, is that was the Lord. That was Jesus, but it wasn't Jesus. That was God through Jesus, because God was offended. And so this is the thing, is I'm offended, yes, but more so God's offended. And because I do everything I do on my channels through God, God is offended. God's annoyed. So therefore, because I speak on behalf of the Lord, I sound offended. I sound annoyed. but I'm not. God is, and he's speaking through me about it. And so this is how this is again how the Lord uses confirmation to me, because I know how the Lord speaks to me. This is the Lord confirming that he in fact is going to be, the Lord is showing me right now a house of cards. You know how you build you can make a little house of cards, and then all you need is one strong gust of wind and they all fall down. That's what the Lord is showing me, is that he's going to be bringing a gust of wind that's going to make this fall down. And in the meantime, they think they got me cornered, but the Lord is smarter than them. They think they're smart, but they're not. The Lord is smarter than them, and because the Lord works through me, I therefore am smarter than them as well. So me and the Lord are working smarter than they are. We're going to pull me back when the heat is thick and heavy, and then I'll step forward after the Lord clears the heat out, right? And just back and forth, until the day arrives, because I wait on the Lord's divine supernatural timing, until the day arrives that the Lord is going to just squash it completely. And this is just the life of a true blue prophet. This is what they go through. You know what I mean? It's not a soft life. It's not a simple life. You know what I mean? You consistently have to deal. This is the thing, is the more that I consistently, appropriately deal with these sabotages and obstacles, and I level up, the Lord tests me and I pass the test. I get retested, I pass the test. I get retested, I pass the test. Every time this pattern happens and I pass it, the next one and the next one, the Lord gifts me all the more. My gifts, I'm blessed materially, like physically, but also supernaturally, okay? Like spiritually, right? And so the Lord will tune up my gifts the next level and the next level, to where I come on here just spitting straight truth, straight facts, calling the devil right out, and he's like, say what? Because 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago you weren't talking like that. And he knows. He's like, uh-oh, someone's leveled up. And so then he has to crank up the sabotage, right? I turn up the heat, he turns up the heat. I turn up the heat, he turns up the heat. And the one that's turning up the heat through me is God. So therefore the devil is fighting a losing battle, and so are all the ones that he directs and puppets. So if you're a true blue chosen one, or you claim to be, and you're offended by me, then you need to take that back to the Lord and ask him to help you. Okay? And if you're a false prophet, Jezebel spirit that's pretending that you're of the Lord, then you need to go to the Lord and seek repentance, because he's going to cut you off at the knees. And those are his words, not mine. And if you're YouTube that's trying to play and coy around with different channels, like, well, I'll have this cooking channel blow up, but I won't have this one talking about God, and I'll allow this fake Jezebel channel talking about God to blow up, but I won't let this real one blow up, and I'll let there be interaction with the fake Jezebel prophets, but I won't let there be interaction with the real prophets. Good luck with that. Look what happened with TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the thing, is people try and say that's a move of the enemy. Why would the enemy want to bring down one of his most popular worldly platforms? Like, this is the thing. Again, you got to have spiritual eyes to see and ears to hear. Because if you don't, then you'll see it skewed. You'll see it backwards. Right? This is what I say all the time on this channel. I'm sitting here seriously saying 2 + 2 = 4. And if while I'm speaking you're thinking I'm saying it's 6, then that is something that's the Lord speaking to you to tell you that you need to go and get right with him. You're lukewarm. Your ducks aren't in a row, whatever it may be. That's between you and him, right? But for those of you that when I speak, you hear me saying 2 + 2 = 4, you will be blessed. Just like I am blessed for saying 2 + 2 = 4. I say it is, I receive blessings. You hear it appropriately, you're blessed. Those of you that think I'm saying it's 6, you're going to have consequence. Those of you, you know what I mean, that think that it's 6 is the sum, you're going to have consequence. That's it. There's nothing else to add. It's literally cut and dry. It's either one way or the other. You're either with God or you're not. And the majority of people are not. Even if they think they are, say they are claimed to be, they're not. So this is why you may only see me, for those of you that have tuned in consistently, it may appear as like I've kind of dialed it back in the last couple months? Yes, correct, I have. That's because the Lord has led me to do that. It's not my own power or steam. It's the Lord doing that, because for the last couple months, post fall season, when I was spinning real truth about fall season and getting up under everybody's skin, the devil was just beside himself. He didn't know what to do. And so instead he had to turn up the heat on all this sabotage. And so the Lord doesn't want people copying and stealing my content. The Lord doesn't want me spending an hour putting out his messages with good intentions, with the good of my soul and heart, and out of my obedience, just to have it be blacklisted. You know what I mean? So therefore, the Lord is not going to pull me off the platform. Well, maybe he will. I don't know. I can't say. Maybe he will pull me off the platform, right? And he'll lead me into other things. But I also know that I am prophetically gifted, and the Lord keeps tuning up my gifts. So if he's tuning up my prophetic gifts, it must be to use them, right? And in order to use my prophetic gifts, I have to speak to the audience that the Lord delegates me to and leads me to, right? Whether it's one specific person or, you know, to the chosen ones in general. And typically it's to the chosen ones in general, because the Lord knows I'm not the only one in this position. There's other people that are truly chosen like myself, that are truly prophetically gifted like myself, that have true spiritual eyes and spiritual ears like myself, that the Lord plans to raise up and put out in public, on a public platform as well. And they either are going through the same thing as me, or they will go through the same thing as me. And so the Lord uses me because he knows I have that tough, thick skin, and I'll do his will no matter what. And not everyone does that, because the devil knows that a lot of people will fold. They will buckle. And so this is why he tries it consistently, is because he's waiting for me to fold and buckle. But he also knows deep, deep down that I'm not one of the ones that will. And that I will only do the Lord's will. So if it appears I've folded and buckled and left, that's because the Lord led me to do something else. It's not because of that. Again, appearances are deceiving. Don't judge a book by its cover. I talk about this all the time on here. So none of what you see on my channel is my power or the devil's power. It's all God. So if you see me posting frequently, that's God. If you see me pull back, that's God. If you see me, speaking in a certain tone or way, that's God, right? Oh, sorry, that was my son's watch. That's God, okay? So, so the Lord, like I said, I just wanted to touch on this today and kind of clear the air on a few things. I know I've made words about this before, but like I said, the Lord is leading me to say this again. Again, it's not me. I'm not thinking, oh, let me go repeat myself today. This is, honestly, I could be doing other things, right? I could, just like you could. You're choosing to listen to my message. You could be doing other things. I'm choosing to create the message for you to listen to, but I too could be doing other things, right? But the Lord led me to make this message, and the Lord led you to listen to it. And so if you are a false prophet that checks out my channel here and there to steal my content, here's another warning for you, and it's probably one of the very last ones. It'll just come out of nowhere, and you'll just have consequence hit you. And I don't know exactly how the Lord's going to expose it, but I believe it's going to be publicly. You wanted to publicly speak on behalf of the Lord and blaspheme his name? Well, I'm pretty sure the Lord will publicly express how you did that, publicly blaspheme his name, right? So again, the Lord works very creatively and very strategically, so don't put anything past him. When you think to yourself, oh, well, I'll just do this, or I'll just do that, or I could just come up with this plan A or B or C. No, the Lord will come up with plan Q, plan X, like a plan you won't even see coming, one you won't even prepare for or predict, okay? And, he works in very strategic ways, and that's what he'll do. And then when it comes to YouTube, the ones that control the platform, just like whoever controls Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, same thing, right? God's going to, you want to know what God's going to do? He's going to put your lame content on the back burner that y'all are promoting and put his true bona fide Christian content at the forefront. And it's already started happening. Christianity is growing in popularity, right? It is. Prophetic words, church, gospel music, it's all growing in popularity. Why? Because God is governing that, because God is taking back territory, because we need to get back to God, period. Because as long as, and you know who understands this? Is President Trump, right? That's why he's making the moves he's making. because he understands. I made a prophecy about this, and here it's happening. It's unfolding before our very eyes. He understands that we have to get back to basics, right? And what were our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents doing 50, 100 years ago? They had God in school. They had prayers. Once, even when I was going to school, we had a weekly prayer. They obviously got rid of that because people got offended for no reason. Devil took over. But there was a weekly prayer that we did when I was even in school. And this is the thing, is that the people that have been born in the last 20, 30, 40 years, well, not 40, but 20 years, they don't know what the world used to be like. Even mainstream music that was considered worldly, they spoke a lot. They would drop God's name, in their music, right? And it's coming, like, God is coming back. He's even taking over worldly artists. People like Kanye West, Justin Bieber, they're worldly. And they work for the mainstream. They work for the machine, right? But at the same time, they're putting out content that speaks about God. And so this is the thing, is that evil things, evil appearances, evil movies, evil music, stuff like this is going to take a back burner. I'm not going to say it's going to be completely eradicated, because, even 50 years ago, there was creepy shows and movies and things like that, but not to we weren't to the degree of evilness 50, 100 years ago that we are at today, right? And I'm sure everyone can agree with that statement. And so this is the thing, it's because we put God on the back burner and put the devil in the front. And if we continue to operate like this, our youth is damned. And I mean literally, truly, truly, they're damned. Like, they're going to go to hell, period. And we need the Lord to step in. No man can save us. It's going to take Lord and only Lord, and the Lord knows that. So this is why he's making his comeback. And that will mean that the tables turn, where the devil goes back to the back seat where he belongs, and the Lord goes to the forefront where he belongs. And one of the ways that the Lord is establishing this is through people like President Trump. I've spoke about this already, and his chosen ones. But the Lord also knows that, unfortunately, the devil's trying to copy and make his Jezebels look like God's chosen ones. And God's like, no, I've put up with this long enough. Remember, the scripture talks about the wheats and tares grow together until the day arrives that they're to be separated. So these Jezebel spirits are the tares, and the true chosen ones are the wheat. And so the chosen ones know it. The Jezebels are copying them and trying to grow up along beside them. The devil knows it, and God knows it. But the day will arrive when they'll be separated, and they'll be exposed for what they really are. And the Bible talks about those that doesn't bear fruit, it's unuseful, it's weeds, it goes into the fire for burning. That's what it's fit for. There's no use for tares. They're fit for burning, and the Bible speaks about this. So therefore, not only is the Lord going to separate his true, chosen, genuine children from these Jezebel tares, he's also going to turn around and destroy them, because they're of no use. And so this is the thing, is the devil's been riding on the coattails for the last year or two about trying to make his tares look like wheats, and make God's wheats look like tares, so that there's this confusion and illusion. But that's coming to an end, and I spoke about it so many times, and here I am speaking about it again. So this is, again, like I said, warning comes before destruction, and the Bible talks about that too, and pride before the fall. So those that feel that they can steal mine or others' content, you're gonna be found out. It might not be today. It might take a day, it might take a week, it might take a month, it might take a year, but you're gonna be found out, and you're gonna have a consequence. You're not just gonna be found out and that's that. The Lord is, like I said, what happens to the tares? They're fit for burning, right? They're of no use. They're unfruitful. So that's the same thing. If you're a Jezebel spirit working for the devil and you're not gifted and you're trying to pretend that you are, what use do you have, right? You know what I'm saying? Maybe for something else, maybe making a cooking channel, or maybe making a makeup channel, or a channel about animals, but not a channel about God. And because that's blasphemy on God's name, and he doesn't stand for that. That's actually one of the most grievous sins there is. So, like I said, everything I say on here can be backed up by God himself or by the Bible. All you have to do is take it back to the Lord, or read the Bible, and everything, you'll see what I'm talking about is all in there. So that's that. And as for the witches that try to do sabotage on my channel and others, the Lord is saying it's not working. It's never worked, and it never will work. He will continue to surpass you every time. Every time that you think, oh, she hasn't posted in a week, we got her. No. The Lord is taking you down behind the scenes. And I'm just waiting till the coast is clear to come back with another message, right? And you'll know that's facts because when I make the message, I call you out on what just happened. I either prophesy in advance before it comes, or I say, oh yeah, I know what you were up to. Well, how else could I have known that unless the Lord revealed it to me, right? I'm not sitting in your company, so how else would I know that? I'm not a fly on your wall. Obviously, the Lord mentioned it to me. There's no other way it would have came to my acknowledgement, right? So, yeah, anything else, Lauren? Yeah, he wants me to make a word about speaking more in regards to what's going to be coming for the worldly ones and in regards to Trump and things like that. But I'm going to make that message obviously another day when he leads me to do so. But at this time, the Lord just, he's had me sporadically coming. Like, I'll come and post, and I'll lay low for a couple of days. And I'll come and post, and I'll lay low for a couple of days. And so this is what's happening on the in-between, is that the Lord's clearing the air, and then I post, and then I get attacked and sabotaged and spiritually beat up for it. And then the Lord goes and clears the air and protects and defends and all that stuff. And then he sends me back out, and it's just repeat. So it's never a victory for the devil and his kids, ever. And I'll repeat myself again. Just really take back who you entertain content-wise back to the Lord, and look for these red flags because they're obvious. And if you still have a hard time, you are seeing things skewed. You're seeing me as a proud person, but yet you're not seeing the Jezebel proud. Just know that you fell for the devil's trap. That's exactly one of his tactics, and you fell for it, right? If you feel that my messages are false, but then someone else's are real when they're actually ripping content from me, and you know that they are, it's obvious because you can hear what I say, and the Lord has shown me they'll use phrases I say word for word. Even be so brazen to put in their title. Like, their title will be certain words, Like, say I say so-called Christian content creators, their title will be like, Christian content creators beware. You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll literally take certain things verbatim. And it's the devil trying to do it to taunt. And it's also the Lord allowing it because he's testing you. He's testing your spirit of discernment. You say you're discerning. You say you're of God. You say you're a prophet. You say you're gifted. You say you're chosen. You say that you're, you receive words from the Lord, etc., etc. You're discerning. You're wise. Okay, so then how is it then that the Lord has tested you over and over and over and over and over again by sending fake vessels to you and you buy into it, and then real vessels to you and then you judge them? And then your life blows up. And then you're like, the devil's attacking me. My life is blowing up. No. God is chastising you. You see? God is on you, not the devil, okay? Like, you're working for the devil, whether you realize it or not. When you do that, you are. And so the devil is happy. Why would he attack you? The one you offended and annoyed was God. And so this is the thing, that's another thing too. Thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. Is watch out for those on the platform that sit and say, I'm being spiritually attacked. Are you? Because honestly, some people are, but remember, it's a minority, right? That truly are. You have God, his wrath on you. That's what it is, right? Don't try and give that credit to the devil. That's God on you. And, so this is the thing, is like, these people want to steal people's words and go and turn it into their own fabrication. They want to do witchcraft on other chosen ones' channels because they're jealous and envious and feel competitive. They want to judge that chosen one and say that they're prideful, they're arrogant, they're wicked, they're false, blah, 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 blah. They want to go and buy into the Jezebel's channel. They want to go and pay for memberships. They want to go donate. They want to go like every video, etc. And then when things hit the fan for them in their life, then they turn around and go to God and say, God, please help me get the devil off my back. And then their life, like, nothing changes, and that's because God's not listening to you. He's turned a deaf ear to you. He's not with you. He's not answering your prayer, and he's not going to, because you're going against him. And when he's testing you in such ways, you're failing. He's trying to test your discernment. You say you're of him. He's like, okay, let's put it to the test then. See, when the Lord tests me, I pass. This is why I continue to put out my content worry-free and stay blessed and peaceful on and off camera, right? This is why I stay gifted and the Lord turns the heat up on my gifts, is because the heat is getting turned up otherwise. So you got to fight fire with fire in certain cases, right? The Lord doesn't want me silenced. He wants me to continue to work for him, and the whole time I'm being tested too. My tenacity is being tested. My obedience is being tested, right? My own discernment is being tested. Do I see these things for what they really are? And every time, yes, I do, over and over again. So like I said, if you're guilty of this, then take it back to the Lord, repent, and stop. You know, and if you refuse to do that and he's on you, then stop asking him to help you, because he's the one that's bringing the discipline to your table. Anyways, I'm not going to continue to try to explain something like, you know, there's no point in explaining things. Oh, thank you, Lord. Hallelujah. The Lord's saying, don't cast your pearls to swine, Amanda. So that's right. So I'm going to leave it there. And again, I put out the words on here for those who have ears to hear, that the Lord sends to it, that need to hear it, that deserve to hear it, that who it can encourage and reveal and confirm to, and support them in their journey moving forward, and hopefully developing their own gifts that the Lord has blessed them with. And, you know, using me as an example, or as a muse, if you will, whatever way you want to put it. And also for the wicked ones that tune in as well, I've already addressed you and told you what you have to look forward to. So take that as you will. So I'm going to leave it there. I will be back when the Lord leads me to, okay? And, yeah, I hope it finds you well. Take care, and God bless.